Hey guys, this is Locke. I haven't made a video in a while because I've been really busy, but my busy time has kind of come to an end. So hopefully I'll be able to be making videos, on a lot more ongoing basis. And anyway, I thought this was a good place to start because season two was just released, and with season two comes Ace. So in this video, I'm going to be focusing all about Ace. I'm going to do a review of him and give you some ideas on how to run him. Let's start with the codex and take a look. Go from there. So Ace is actually a phenomenal character. Like if you're only gonna watch like say 30 seconds of this video, he is very highly rated for arena. Like he is going to be used in a lot of builds if you have him. I started using him at level 30 in arena yesterday, and already I mean I saw a lot of other people using him at level 30, level 32 as well, and even at such a low level, he's already making a huge impact. So he's a game changer for sure when it comes to arena. He's not that great for PVE, so if you're only looking for PVE kind of content, it's not somebody I would recommend. But for PvP and any kind of PvP content, he is definitely a must pull for any PvP content. So Cosette Plus is still the best all-around Legendary Plus unit in my opinion because she is just great and she can be used in PVE and you really need to focus on PVE first. But in my opinion, now Ace is probably a good like second unit to focus on, like once you have Cosette Plus, which I'm sure a lot of people have because she was given out for free, and even for the returning players, I see that there's this Legendary Plus selector that you can select. So once you've got Cosette Plus, which I think is going to probably be easy for a lot of players, if most players already have her or will easily get her soon, in my opinion, as far as I know anyway. And then I think Ace is actually the second character that most people should be focusing on because he's just so useful in arena. You can be the only L plus character and you can have three other L characters and you have a pretty decent team. Like he's that powerful. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's talk about his skills and we'll start with his passive. So what his passive does is it increases the accuracy rate of all allies. This is a pretty good passive to have actually, because I've talked in the past that CC is one of the main things that you want for arena, right? Like CC is one of three things that I talked about, and the accuracy rate basically impacts the rate that your CCs will land. And when I say CC, I mean things like stun, knockback, paralyze, mutation, all of those things. And so having a passive that increases the accuracy rate of all your units is great, and it's really useful for arena because arena is where you really want to use CC. You can't use CC in PVE scenarios anyway, so this is a really good passive to have. Now his first skill, his bread and butter, is actually this one, Full Moon's Flash. So what it does is that it charges at the target, deals some damage, and then it has a chance of it decreases all of their defenses and pulls the targets and then has a chance of stunning them. So if you guys have been playing before and if you've seen Valder, he has a very similar skill where he kind of pulls everyone together and then stuns them, right? So this guy does a similar thing. The main difference, which is why Ace is so much better, that I've talked to in Valder videos before, is the available distance. So you can see it starts at 20 meters. Now, if you've ever seen Ace in arena, you can see that he basically, right as you start the match, he's already in range to use the skill because that's about 20 meters. He doesn't really need to move forward. So right away, he's using the skill. Valder, his available distance is about 10 meters. So he needs to move up, a little bit. It might take like a second or two before he uses that skill. So if it's Valder versus Ace, Ace is already going to be able to use the skill and stun Valder, 60% chance to stun Valder before Valder has a chance to use his pull skill. So this is what really makes Ace. And this is able to there's another real, actually very good difference between this skill and Valder's skill, is that he actually charges at the target first, right? So imagine you have, Ace as your frontline unit, like your tank unit, and then you have three other rangers, right? So at the beginning, he puts 20 meters of distance between between Ace and your three rangers while he uses the skill. So he charges first, makes a lot of distance, pulls everybody together, and then has a high chance of stunning them. Like, that's a phenomenal skill to have, and that's really what makes Ace so powerful. All the other skills, I mean, really good to have as well, but this one skill is why he is so good and he's so sought after, and in my opinion, a very strongly recommended second unit that everyone should pull for. Um, so I highly recommend him, and the reason I highly recommend him is for this skill. Additionally, I mean, it also decreases defense, and defense, people are starting to stack defense more and more. It's a 100% chance to decrease defense by pretty significantly. So it all adds up. I think this is a great skill to have, and Ace, in my opinion, because of that one skill, is the reason why he's so good. But let's continue. So the second skill he has, this skill, so he becomes invincible and deals some damage to opponents in a circular range, and has a and deals additional damage to stunned enemies. So one thing that I have to mention, some people keep getting confused about the wording of the skill. Wilder has a similar skill, but Wilder's skill actually gives him invincibility to damage for a certain amount of time. This skill only gives him invincibility, which is, he doesn't take damage and he doesn't get CC'd while he's casting the skill. So it doesn't give him, like, say, 15 seconds or 10 seconds or something of invincibility afterwards. It's not like that at all. It's just while he's casting it. Similar to Evan Plus, while he's casting it, he doesn't get interrupted and he doesn't take any damage. And it also decreases, it ignores 40% of enemies' defense and gives you a higher damage multiplier if the enemy is stunned, which, you can pair with other units to stun him, and he also has a stun skill as well, in his first skill that he will use. So it is a very high chance that this skill will actually do a lot of damage as well. So he is able to do a lot of CC, he's able to put a lot of distance between units, he's able to stun, and then he's able to do a lot of damage as well. So, I mean, you can see that he's actually, like, he has a lot of things going for him, and everything, the way he's put together, he's just very powerful. The third skill is he has an AoE skill which has a 100% chance of removing buffs. So if you remember, I talked about, what are the three things that PvP units should have. The first one is CC, which he has CC on him. The second one is removing buffs, because a lot of units have, like, immortality buffs, immunity buffs, and so on and so on, and you want to be able to remove those to have a chance of killing them. So, I mean, he has that right here. He has the buff removal, and it's an AoE buff removal. So two of the three things that I talked about that you really want to have for PvP characters. The third one is actually some kind of defensive skill, which he doesn't outright have. Like, he doesn't have something like Valder's Shield, but he has, the second skill, which gives him immunity and invincibility while he's casting, and same with his ultimate as well. If he's able to get his ultimate off, which actually has quite a bit of a cast time, which in this case is not bad, simply because of the secondary effect that while he's casting the skill, it is going to he can't be damaged and he can't be stunned or whatever, which is really good, right? So these two things kind of add a little bit of survivability to him. It makes him a little bit tougher, but not really. Like, in my opinion, he's still one of the squishier units, in my opinion. Like, I've been running him in arena a lot. I've been fighting him against other units in arena. Keep in mind that when I see him, he's usually not very high level. Like, mine is level 38 today, but I've seen a lot of them that are like level 34 or level 32 even. And in that case, he's I would expect him to not have as much HP and defenses as, like, the other level 50 L plus units that I'm seeing, right? So maybe that might also be a reason why he goes down faster. But he doesn't really have any built-in defenses like Valder, except for that invincibility while casting for two skills. But overall, I think he's a great unit. The way that I'm using him, I'll show you my arena setup. So let me get there. So this is the setup that I'm using. I'm using him with the basic formation, and I have him here. The basic formation gives him 17% attack speed. I can also see a lot of people using the swift formation instead, which gives him 10% attack speed and 10% move speed. I don't actually know if you need that move speed, though, because as far as I can tell, he starts using the skill right away. He doesn't really need to move forward to use it. So I don't know if if you really need to use that. There might be a different formation, but these are the two that I've looked at. And again, keep in mind that I really only started playing this game like seriously since yesterday, because I had to take a long break because I was just really busy with some stuff going on in real life. However, no, I can see myself using one of these two formations, and I really like the basic formation because overall I feel like it gives a lot of good formation buffs. I will do a video on pets because pets have been revamped and they have become like really good, especially Karen. And I mean, they've just it's a huge update to talk about, so I have to really make its own video to talk about pets, but it's coming. But yeah, this is the formation. I'm using Valder right now at the back. I feel like by the time Valder runs up, so basically, what's happening with this formation is that Ace at the beginning is able to cast a skill, and then by the time he's done his skill and he's kind of put everybody together and stun them, by that time Valder has run up and he's in range to then use his pull and then combo it. So that's the reason why I've set it up like this. And it's working so far, but I'm only at like say 50, I think 51. No, 5,000. 5,000 odd arena, so it's not like the top end of arena, but in global it's like top 100, which I hope is okay. Uh, yeah, and I've let my arena ranking slide. When I started yesterday, my ranking was actually 4,000 because I've just not had time to do arena, so it's just been falling and falling. And from 4,000 today, that's why I have such a high win rate, like 71 wins, 8 losses, because I started at 4,000, which was really easy to come up to. But going forward, I should have a lot better idea of how what one of our better setups to see in arena is. There is a setup that I really want to talk about, which I've seen a lot, and hopefully I can find somebody running that. This one, so Papson. So what I've seen is I've seen somebody using Ace, and I've often actually seen Ace in the first slot. So I've seen Ace as a tank. I've seen somebody else, and it could be a variety of units. It could be like, say, Fodina. It could be Ming. Somebody like that. Somebody who's able to do like AOE CC in the second slot. In the third slot, I've seen either Claire or Juju, and in the fourth slot, I've seen Yonghi. And the idea here is that Ace is, again, he's going to charge at the front, and he's going to pull all the enemies together, and he's going to CC, remove buffs, and do his thing. And the second unit in the second slot, it like the Shane that Papson is using will also work because she also has AOE CC and she also charges. So you can use any one of those units. You can use any one of them, and they will continue to use CC and lock everybody in place while the two ranges, Yonhee and Juju, Claire, either one that you have, will keep attacking with CCs. And it's been really effective. I actually lost to this player once, even though I have a 40,000 less CP than him. Like I have like 253,000 CP. He has 213,000 CP. And in one match, I actually did lose. I usually win, but I mean, if you have a difference of 40,000 CP and you still lose, like it's a very powerful setup to face against, right? And you can use 3 L units. You don't need to use Ming. You don't need to use you don't need to use a second L plus unit. Like Ace and 3 L units are totally making this work, right? So that's why I think that Ace is actually a really good pick for an L plus unit after Cosette. And I am going to assume that most people are going to be able to get Cosette because, I mean, we had an event where everyone was basically given a chance to get Cosette. And then secondly, I heard that any new players or returning players have a some kind of an event or something where you're able to pick an L plus unit of your choice from the 4 starting L plus units, and Cosette is a choice there. So you should be able to get Cosette from that. And after you've got Cosette, then I strongly recommend focusing on Ace. Now, how should you pull for Ace? I've talked about this before. I very strongly do not recommend pulling for him from this banner because the chance of getting him when you hit 140 pulls is 5%. So you're spending about 15,000 rubies for a 5% chance of getting him, which is, unless you're very lucky, which you could be, 1 in 20 chances you could be lucky and get him, but the chances are stacked against you. So this is you're most likely going to be spending a lot of rubies and being disappointed that you don't get him. So instead, the best way to get him, and the way I got him, is to fill up this banner and pull on it. So all this time, I mean, I have been doing like whatever content I could. And before I took a long break, I farmed a lot. I farmed raids. I made sure I did my competitive arena every day, and I basically farmed a lot of moonstones and farmed a lot of topaz. And I bought. 1 second, let me just go there so I can talk about it. I basically bought a bunch of these, and I had 140 pulls ready to go by the time Ace was released. So on day one, I was able to just fill this banner up. I mean, I was hoping that I didn't have to fill it up. I was hoping that by like the 60th or 80th or something pull that I could have him, but I had to go all the way to 140, and on the 141st pull, I was finally able to get him. But this was the way to do it, and this is the one way that I would recommend. It is slow, especially for free-to-play players, because the amount of topaz that you'll get from competitive arena is like a slow drip, and the amount of moonstones that you're getting from raids is also slow, so it will take some time. But I think this is the way to go to get these L plus units. I very strongly do not recommend people spend pulling on this unless you have like an unlimited amount of rubies, you are a heavy spender and things like that. But even then, like if you are a heavy spender, the best way to get them is really moonstones. So you can buy these packs. Let me just show you these event packs, which gives out moonstones. So I would just recommend buying this, honestly, because this is going to give you, like, one of these packs is going to give you 20 pulls, and at 140 pulls you're guaranteed to get the L plus unit that you want. So this is, if you're a spender, this is what I would recommend doing. If you're not a spender, I mean, it's going to be a slow drip, but that's the way I would recommend people to pull for him. Trying your chance on that 5% banner. I mean, hey, it could work out, and if it works out, it's great. But more than likely, you will probably be disappointed because the chance is very, very low. So what do I recommend on him? So as I said, that when you are in arena, when you start the match, even from where I'm starting, like, I'm not even at the very front. I am starting in position 2, right? I'm starting here, and I still feel that he is basically able to attack right away. He's not really waiting for he's not really running forward, unless maybe I'm fighting against an opponent who's using Rudy, because that Rudy tends to stand back. So but definitely if you have him here, he will be able to attack right away. So the best set to use on him is the set that will try to get him to attack before the opponent attacks, assuming that both of you are using Ace. So what that means is you really want to have him with the highest amount of attack speed that you can. That means that you really want to bring a set like this that would increase the attack speed by 26%. The enchants that you're going to want to put on him has to include attack speed, because you want the attack speed to be as high as possible. Even the accessories, if you can put attack speed on it, you should. Which I unfortunately don't. But what accessories do I recommend? There's honestly a very huge section on accessories. They've been changed as well. Like, Mirage accessories have they might actually be a lot more useful now because they were buffed. And I really have to think about it. I don't know if this is the best setup for him, but this is what I'm using right now. I'm using one Lagarthi. I'm using one Enraged, like the Immortality accessory, and I'm using one of the Mirage accessory. The reason I'm not using Revive accessories is because I'm using Karen, which now has an insane passive that basically gives Revive to everybody. So that's what I'm using right now, and it's kind of working. But again, I'm only at 5,000, so I have to really test it out even more to really give a better opinion on it. But yeah, you really want to increase his attack speed as much as possible. There is one thing that I've noticed people doing, which I just want to touch on quickly. So you can get if you go to the store, if you go to the guild store, you can buy this guild pet, the Corrupt Queen Lizardia pet. And what this pet does is, let me go to the codex because I don't actually have this pet yet. Sorry, just bear with me as I navigate my way through. Okay, so what this pet does, it has an active ability, which increases the attack speed by 35% for 10 seconds. And now I mentioned that, there is a huge arena update that I want to talk about, and I will cover, the pet stuff in more detail, but I think this one directly relates to Ace, so I want to mention it. If you use this pet in Arena, you're not going to get you're not going to get most of these effects. A lot of these passives are only applicable in Guild Raid, but you can actually set the Active 2 ability to go off right away, right? So what that means is, sorry, let me go to Arena again and set it up. So I'm going to use a different pet to illustrate. So I'm going to use like Eileen or something. Okay, and then you can go to skill settings, and then you can say when you want him to use this skill. So you can say, I want the skill to be done at t equals 0, like basically as soon as the match starts, right? So if you set it up this way, that means that Queen Lizardia pet will start the match and use the 35% attack boost, which is basically going to increase your attack speed by a lot more than an opponent who doesn't have that extra 35%, right? So if you look at, like, say, legendary pets that have attack speed, which I happen to have one of here, the attack speed boost is only 21%. So that Lizardia pet, which you can kind of get for free by just farming guild coins, is going to have 35% attack speed compared to 21%. And if it boils down to whoever gets Ace's skill off first is going to win the match, then you have a higher chance of winning the match by using that. Now, do I really recommend a lot of people using that and spending your coins on it? I haven't, I don't know yet. I personally haven't even done that. So you have to really think about it. But I just want to give that, information that is something you can do. And I've seen a lot of players that are running the comp that I talked about earlier, where you have, like, say, 2 Rangers and say Shane plus Ace or something. I've seen a lot of players who are using a setup like that, using that guild raid pet. So it is proving to be quite effective. There's a guildie that actually, I think he's like a free-to-play guildie, or he spent like very little money. I think he spent like, I don't know, less than $50 in total or something like that. And I was not able to beat him, right? His name is Early Snow. If you see him somewhere, I think I fought him only once in Arena, and I lost, and I didn't want to try fighting him again. But he's using a similar setup to that. And so it is working. Like, you don't need to spend a lot of money, to make Ace work. You can make it work with the L plus units. You can make it work with the free guild pet, which is what he's using. So Ace is honestly a huge game changer, and like, people are gonna have to figure things out. And because it's season 2 and a lot of things change, including, say, how pets are, including some updates to accessories, there's a lot of things to figure out and to really optimize. So I'm actually really excited as well, coming back to the game after a break of being busy. I'm excited to figure things out and see what's working and what's not working and how to optimize this. But I strongly recommend Ace to people. I think he's a great character. If there's things I missed, or if there's something that I missaid or I said wrong, please give me a comment, and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. And until next time, I hope you guys have a good day. Take care now.